The Federal Reserve's balance sheet stands at approximately $7 trillion in 2026. In August 2008, it was $900 billion. The difference represents 3 rounds of quantitative easing. This is that archive. This is an archive of documented central bank balance sheet data from 2008 to 2022. No predictions, no tickers. The historical record as it stands. Chapter 1. The first episode, November 2008. Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy on the 15th of September 2008, triggering a credit market freeze. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet at the end of August 2008 was approximately $900 billion, a level maintained for decades. On the 25th of November 2008, the Federal Reserve announced purchases of up to $1.75 trillion in mortgage-backed securities and agency debt. QE1. The Bank of England began its own program in March 2009, purchasing UK gilts. Initial target was £75 billion. It was expanded to £200 billion by November 2009. Chapter 2. The second and third rounds, 2010 to 2014. In November 2010, the Federal Reserve announced QE2, $600 billion in longer-term Treasury securities by mid-2011. In September 2012, the Federal Reserve announced an open-ended third round, $85 billion per month in mortgage-backed securities and treasuries, explicitly conditional on labor market improvement. The taper tantrum of May 2013 documents the sensitivity of financial markets to central bank balance sheet expectations. When Chairman Bernanke indicated QE might be tapered, U.S. 10-year Treasury yields rose approximately 110 basis points in 8 weeks. Chapter 3. The European Central Bank. 2015. The European Central Bank began its asset purchase program in March 2015, purchasing €60 billion per month. Net purchases continued until December 2018. The ECB balance sheet reached approximately €4.7 trillion. Chapter 4. The third episode, March 2020. In March 2020, the Federal Reserve cut rates to zero and announced $700 billion in asset purchases within 1 week. By June 2022, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet had reached approximately $9 trillion, double the QE3 peak. The Bank of England announced £200 billion in additional gilt purchases in March 2020. By January 2022, Bank of England assets had reached £895 billion. Chapter 5. The Common Observations. In each episode, the stated objectives included stabilizing financial markets, reducing long-term interest rates, and stimulating economic activity. In each case, the impact on risk asset prices was more immediate than the impact on nominal output. Exit proved more difficult than entry in each episode. The 2022 inflation surge, the highest in 4 decades in the US, UK, and Eurozone, occurred while central banks were still purchasing assets. Quantitative tightening began in the US in June 2022. By end 2023, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet had declined from $9 trillion to approximately $7.7 trillion, a partial reduction. The balance sheet had not returned to its pre-QE3 baseline before the next episode began. The pre-QE2 baseline was also not restored before QE3 started. Each episode began with the prior episode not fully unwound. Chapter 6. What the historical record shows. 3 QE episodes, each larger than the last. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet in 2026 is approximately 8 times its 2008 level after partial reduction. The documented pattern, crisis, large-scale asset purchases, balance sheet expansion, risk asset recovery, incomplete normalization, next crisis, larger intervention. This is what the historical record shows. The archive stays open.